If you're new to my page, welcome. I am Onjeinikab, also known as the Unmothered Coach. And tonight I'm live on Facebook and on Instagram, so you're going to see me looking back and forth right now. If you're new to my page, I am the Unmothered Coach, and I discuss topics dealing with being unmothered. Being unmothered is when you have grown up with a mother either present in your home or not present, but at any rate you didn't get some of the things that you needed. You didn't get that love, you didn't get the support, you didn't feel wanted all the time. And in some cases, like I said, your mother could be in the home, or some cases she's absent from the home, and literally you felt a sense of loss or rejection because you didn't have what you needed growing up. And so that carries over into your adult life. And that's what I call being unmothered when you grow up like that. And so that's what I discuss here on the page. My job is to help other women who've been through similar situations as I have. If you've had a difficult relationship with your mother and you suffered trauma, I can help you elevate above that trauma, find your voice, and reclaim your power so you can have the life you deserve. And so what we're going to talk about tonight is the cost of being unmothered. And so one of the costs, because there are many, one of the costs is low self-esteem. There are others, like a fear of rejection, not knowing how to parent because you don't feel like you've had a mother model that for you. I could go on. There are several costs to being unmothered, and I'll unpack them, as I'm going live over the next coming weeks. But tonight, we just want to focus on low self-esteem. So I'm not going to talk to you too long because I want to make this quick, and then I have a couple of announcements about what's going on the page and some of the services and offers that I have coming up. So let's get into it. All right. So we know that when we're unmothered, we are missing some of the things that we need. And it doesn't just happen because your mother isn't paying attention to you, or because, she's not a perfect mom. Because believe me, there is no such thing as a perfect mom. We're all going to mess up at some point. However, when you're unmothered, that could mean that you have a toxic mom, or a narcissistic mom, or one that isn't feeling, or one that is, just really, really mean. And she may have suffered trauma, she may have gone through something, and it is causing her to behave a certain way towards you. And so it does not excuse her behavior, the things that happen to her. It doesn't excuse her behavior, but I like to call attention to it because sometimes it can help us understand why on earth a mother would act like this. Why would she treat her daughter this way? And in some cases, it could be her son too. But we're dealing with daughters on the page because I'm a woman and I'm coming from my perspective. And so it makes us wonder, why would a mother do this? And so one of the reasons is sometimes the things that she's been through in her life. It is not an excuse, but it can really take your mother down to a place where all she knows how to do is lash out at you. She sees you as some kind of threat, some kind of reason for where she is. It could be many different ways she's viewing you, and it will make her lash out. So in lashing out, the things that you should be getting: unconditional love, support, no matter what when you need it, guidance and teaching and correction, those things that you should be getting are replaced with insults a lot of the time. It can be sabotage when you're trying to do something and she thinks you might, be trying to leave her behind or do better than what she's done. Instead of wanting that, a lot of the times mothers don't want it, when they're toxic or when they are really self-absorbed. When they have some narcissistic characteristics, they really don't want that for you because they're only thinking of themselves. They're very self-centered. And so that is how this type of behavior comes about. But its effect on you can sometimes fly below the radar, and you don't know it when you're a child, because you're still growing and developing. And so what happens is you begin to, accept certain things as truth. You begin to make up certain things about who you are and how you need to behave in order to survive. So you adapt to what you're getting from your mother, from your negative mother. You adapt to that. And the changes that you make sometimes just stick with you into adulthood. And so when you're an adult, you begin to see the costs coming out. And the problem with low self-esteem is, first of all, it will cause you to settle. You will settle a lot of times. You will settle, when you should be getting better in many different areas, and we'll talk about some of them in a minute. But it will cause you to settle because you just don't believe that you are worth anything. And I'm just going to speak plainly and just, say what it is. You don't believe that you are worth more, or you don't believe that you're worth maybe what you see someone else being able to get. And it could be as simple as respect. Sometimes your self-esteem can be so low that you will allow people to mistreat you when you know that it's wrong, or when you know that you need to speak up. But something is in you telling you, okay, I don't have that right because I'm not good enough. And so that's really how it manifests. And when you have that belief buried down in your psyche, it comes out subconsciously. And it will come out in relationships, for example. You can be in a relationship that you know is not good for you. Hi there. You know it is not good for you. And you know you're not getting what you want. And you may not even be prepared to be in a relationship, but at the very least, you're not being treated how you're supposed to. And a lot of times you'll stay in that relationship because you don't believe that you can do better. You really don't think that about yourself. And like I said, this gets put in your head early on, and it becomes and something that you accept. It becomes a belief that you accept when it is really not true. And so it is a huge cost, because think about the time wasted when you're in a relationship that you don't need to be in. Think about what you go through sometimes. You ain't got no business being with a person. Sometimes they're suffering, they have trauma, they have things they need to heal, and the both of y'all are trying to be together, and you're just making it worse for each other. And think about the time and the pain that you can go through. All relationships require work. All of them require work, but you're not supposed to be miserable. So believe that. It's not all about being miserable to be with someone. And so when you have low self-esteem, it will cause you to settle because you literally don't think that you deserve better than that. It has to do with your sense of self-worth. You don't believe that you deserve better than that. Okay, so that's where you can be stuck in relationships. You can also be stuck in a workplace. And I talked about this when I did a reel a couple of days ago, saying that I was going to be talking about the cost of being unmothered. And I touched on staying in a workplace too long, or somewhere else where you're being mistreated, or where your gifts are not being recognized. You're not being fully sparked to do the things that you need to do. You're not excited about work. You're upset and worried, and you don't want to be there because they are not sparking anything in you. They're only bringing you down, and maybe using you in some cases, because sometimes you can be severely underpaid, doing something that you should be getting your worth, and you're not, and you just tell yourself, well, this is the best that I can do. And I have been there, so I'm speaking from experience, where I've been in jobs and I have known this is not the right place for me, because one, it's toxic, and two, they got the nerve to not pay me what I should be getting paid. And so why am I accepting that? Okay, and we're gonna get to the whole wake up part in just a minute. Hey B. So relationships you can settle in. You can settle in a workplace. You can literally settle. Low self-esteem can plague you so badly that you can settle throughout life. And why are you settling? It's because low self-esteem causes you to be unmotivated. you are unmotivated because your very belief about yourself is that you are not good enough. You are not good enough. And that does not always come from your parents. It does not always come out of childhood, but a lot of the time it can. It can definitely start if you don't have someone in your home, if your mother is not affirming you and telling you that yes, you can do this. Yes, you should go after that. It can start very early. And so it can also cause us to need more affirmation and more people praising us and all of that than is normal. Because as adults, you shouldn't still need that. You should have a sense of worth and know that no one can validate you but God. But for a lot of us, when we grow up without, when we grow up lacking the things that we need in the very beginning, it makes it hard for us to really see ourselves being that person that's winning. It makes it hard for us to see ourselves being the person that's happy. And it can cause a mode of self-sabotage at times, that shows up because you just don't believe that you deserve certain things. So even when things are starting to work out, that low self-esteem will kick in and a little voice in your head will be like, no, this isn't for you. Oh, this can't be real. And so it can cause self-sabotage. And so those are some of the issues that play out when you have low self-esteem. And I see your comment, Brandon, says, sounds like corporate racism and discrimination, to be honest. Sometimes that does go on in a workplace. And, various things can happen in a workplace. But I'm speaking to the fact that low self-esteem can sometimes keep you there, even though you see that happening. That is not always the reason that people will stay in a job. Sometimes you need the money. You have to pay bills, and you literally don't have another job, and so you can't afford to just walk away. But a lot of the time, for those of us that have grown up unmothered, we don't believe in ourselves because our own mothers didn't. When your own mama doesn't believe in you, it can be devastating sometimes. And it's one thing for you to be an adult and have her just, yapping. You might get used to it, and maybe it doesn't make too much of a difference. But when you're a child and that is embedded in your head, that your mama always has something negative to say, or she's always telling you you're not this or you can't do that, you do create some rules in your life and some beliefs that can stick with you, and then they will play out in adulthood. And so that is why I'm bringing attention to it. There are several costs, like I said, to being unmothered. Low self-esteem is just one of them. But if we want to flip the script on that, right? If we want to change some things, what it takes now is some self-evaluation. Some looking inside yourself, some looking, deep and saying, what are those thoughts that are playing in my head when I decide not to level up? When I decide, okay, I can't go for that promotion. Or when I decide I can't possibly switch jobs, because, that's not going to work out. You need to pay attention to the voices and to the script that's going when those kinds of decisions are being made. When you're making those kinds of decisions, how are you talking to yourself? And where does that come from? So it takes a lot of self-work, looking deeply to figure out if it is because of low self-esteem. And at that point, you don't have to get upset and go cuss your mama and go off and, do any of that. At that point, you need to own it because you are an adult now. You are a grown person, and you need to decide, I'm going to make some changes. And when you decide that you're going to make the changes and begin to build yourself up and work on yourself, and I talk deeper about these things in my coaching program. I'm not going to get into all of them tonight. This is just to make you aware. But when you make that decision, when you have that mindset shift and you decide, hey, I'm changing some things, the whole game changes. The whole thing changes. And suddenly you literally see yourself getting the things that you want. And you then are motivated to go after them. And so that includes the bag, the relationships, life in general. You can be winning. You can be winning. And no, everything's not going to always go smoothly and perfect. But the way that you deal with setbacks and the way that you deal with drama and the way, that you move through life becomes different when you know your worth, when your self-esteem, has gone up, and you know that you deserve more. And when that happens, the people around you start to win too, because then you have something to pour out. You have something to give. You can't give from an empty place, and when you're broken. And so the more work you do on yourself and the more you heal yourself, the more you can share good things with others. And that is the name of the game. I know we're taught, be competitive, be the best, and be higher than all the rest and all of that. And there's a time and a place for some of that. And that's good self-talk, positive talk when you need it. But we really do need each other. We really are connected. And so it's no good to just be the best if you're not going to pull somebody else up, if you're not going to pour into someone else and help them. And so that's what I'm all about. That's what I have for you tonight. The cost of being unmothered when you have low self-esteem. I'm going to be hitting you with some little shorter lives over the next few weeks. And I will tell you why. So that is one of my announcements that I mentioned. I have a webinar planned for you guys coming up in September. So September the 17th, mark your calendars. That is a Sunday. I'm going to be hosting a webinar, a live webinar from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, September 17th. And it will be, invitation only. You'll have to sign up is what I mean. And so I don't have the link for you tonight. I was hoping I would have the page up, but it is coming. I'm very close to finishing it. And so the link is going to go out to those on my email list. And then I'll post it, here on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube so that everybody can grab it from there too if you're not already on the email list. But I would encourage you to sign up for my email because I'll be talking more about the webinar and you'll get like the details of what's going to be in it and all of that good stuff. And then the other announcement is I'm considering moving to YouTube for my lives. I've heard from some people that, I don't know, maybe if YouTube feels more private for folks or what it is, or if it's just, better for long form videos and content. And so I'm considering whether I'm going to switch over to YouTube or whether it'll be YouTube and Facebook. I don't know yet. Give me some feedback. Let me know what y'all think. If you feel like you would participate more or engage more if it was a YouTube live versus Instagram or Facebook, let me know. Leave me some. But yeah, that's what I have for you. As always, you can grab my book, Unmothered, on my website. It's also available on Amazon by ebook. The name of the book is Unmothered, A Daughter's Guide to Acceptance, Healing, and Renewal. You can go and get your copy. It walks you through the steps to healing. And if you're interested in someone that can hold your hand and guide you through putting in place the changes that you want to make, then that's when you should reach out for my coaching program. And one-to-one coaching is open. You can click the link in my bio if you would like to sign up for a free consultation, and I'll see if I can help you. All right? Well, that is what I have for you tonight, guys. I hope that you are having a good week. You're almost to Friday. Hang in there for the weekend. Thank you to those of you that joined me tonight. Happy to be back, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye.